most recent installment of Meet the Artist on the Bandstand, and I'm happy and honored to have the mayor, the mayor of UDC, forever the mayor of UDC, no matter who's the president, you know, Mr. Howard Kingfish Franklin. And yeah, give it up for Howard Kingfish Franklin. UDC's one of the graduates in the UDC music program. And he's on the scene all over the world. Wherever you need him. Wonderful drummer and musician and teacher and entrepreneur. You know, and also we're glad to have always Mr. Steve Novosel. Professor Steve Novosel with us this afternoon. And we're going to talk with Fish, and we call him Fish. He was named Fish by our, you know, Calvin Jones. You know, we'll talk to him about that. But we're going to start off this afternoon with a song first, with something that Fish would like to do. Hopefully I know it. If I don't know it, we'll play something similar. Similar to what he wants to play. So let's start with something, Fish, whatever.
Well, you always got to start with the blues.
Okay. Well, I know how to play some blues. If I don't play nothing else, I can play that. I'll be playing it for the rest of my life.
Yeah, right. Go. One, two,
got you into the drums, Fish? How'd you get into playing the drums?
Oh man. Let's see. My mother said I must have been about 3 years old. So I just went in the cabinet. She said I was in my diaper. And I guess I was almost 2 years old, yes. Went in my diapers. Went in the kitchen drawer, started taking out pots and pans and things of that nature. Started just tapping on, with whatever I could find hitting. And she said, I could get like a spoon or something. That's when it started. And then it kind of grew from there. And when I got about 10 years old, I gathered some pickle buckets from the deli, and I made my own drum set. So the rest is history.
What kind of music, I guess, were you exposed to at that age? I guess as a child, what things drew you to music in general, I guess, what kind of music?
So I came up with, in the 70s, my parents, Temptations, Four Tops, Marvin Gaye, Barry White, going up to Johnny Guitar Watson, and, OJs. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Anybody was from Philadelphia. or that Philadelphia, they were Gamble and Huff. And that's kind of what I kind of started listening to as a child and was raised up with. My parents would play all those great records, and then they would go back even further with people like Gene Chandler and, before Curtis Mayfield was Curtis Mayfield, but with the impressions. So, things like that, but cats like that, and then I eventually matriculated into go-go.
Okay. So saying like you heard these different groups, did you try to emulate anything on the records, or how did that transfer to you, kind of, I guess, your style of playing the drums, or, how did that work out? Did you?
Oh yeah, so because I was so familiar with all those tunes, all those artists, as a child, all of those songs just got recorded in my head. And then I would end up taping things on my cassette tape. My dad he had all the records. So, my sister, she does still continue that legacy now, but, just like cassettes, I would go just practice the beats with those records. One solo in particular, I think the first solo that I tried to learn was the solo from Diamond, the drummer from Ohio player, on the song I Wanna Be Free. Boom, tap, boom, 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 tap, boom, boom, boom. I wanna be free, child. Right. So y'all remember that one? Right. That double time solo in the intro, and then went straight to that. You just locked that ballad right down real tight and strong. Right. It was a love song, and that's the first one that I think Before I Let Go with Mays, Frankie Beverly and Mays. Everybody had to learn that on drums. That was like a prerequisite for playing the drums at that time. Yeah. So and then but later on.
Yeah, you said you got to. So you're from DC, so of course, go-go.
Oh yeah, go-go.
Everybody
man.
had a neighborhood go-go band. I was in a few myself.
Right.
So
If you didn't hear that, you wasn't playing nothing. I mean, you weren't a musician if you didn't play go-go in this area, in the District of Columbia, Maryland, or Northern Virginia.
80s, boy. You growing up in the 80s.
Oh yeah, so that, I took my bucket set. I managed to go to a pawn shop. I went to Value City, got a bass drum, an old Ludwig bass drum, and I added that to I remember it was 20 inches with a silver dot head on it, no front head, just the kick side, because that was popular back then. If you had a front side, you would get cussed out by the go-go cats because they were so ignorant, they didn't understand that. The drums actually needed two heads to vibrate. We would learn that sonically later, but not.
Yeah, they like to stick their, mics inside the bass drum.
Right. But I saw a man that ended up being my big brother in life until he died, passed away in 2013, was Sugarfoot Ricky Wellman, who was the king of go-go drumming, who was Miles Davis's last drummer and was all them Chuck Brown, Woody Woodpecker, Run Joe, all of that, Midnight Sun and all that stuff. That's Sugarfoot's playing drums, if you wonder why that pocket was. I mean, it was stiff.
That's why Miles was.
But that's why Miles stole it from Chuck Brown. But he was the only one that had a head on the front of his bass drum. And we was like, hold on. Now he doesn't have a head, he doesn't have a head. But him, they don't sound like him.
Right.
He sounds special. He's on a whole nother level of drumming. He's on some sophisticated go-go drumming. His go-go drumming don't sound like 8 Foot, Juju, this one and that one, blah, blah, blah. That they were great. But Ricky was special. So when I saw Ricky with the bass drum heads on both sides, the tom heads on both sides, I knew it was safe for me to do that. Once I got a real drum set, but I was still playing that Ludwig silver dot one side on the bass drum, 20-inch head, no lacquer, and I put my buckets. I jimmied up a little concoction and tied the buckets into this pole, and it looked like they were sitting up toms just like this. And people were so amazed when they saw the whole bucket set going around. And I learned that from a man, Heavy One from Junkyard Band. He taught me that it was okay to put pickle buckets on top of a real bass drum. He said, that's okay. With a real snare, of course.
So, what high school did you go to? Was there anyone that influenced you in high school level?
So, no.
No?
No. I mean, I went to a predominantly white high school.
Okay.
Out in Bethesda, called Bethesda Chevy Chase. And
Is that where you
I
met
was
Bruce?
supposed to go to, me and Bruce Williams went there, Allyn Palmer, all of us went to school there. Lil Knox Barber, he went there as well, the bass player.
Yeah.
A few other cats went there, but so it really, the emphasis was more about concert band and a little bit of marching band. We had a jazz ensemble, but we really didn't, get it. But that's when I heard Random Extract by Branford Marsalis, and it changed my life. And I heard Wynton Marsalis playing Black Coals from the Underground, and it changed my life. God bless me, I would end up playing with Wynton Marsalis later on. So that was the first thing I told him. I said, Wynton, when I heard your record, Black Coals, I told him this on the gig. I said, look, bro, I said, that got me playing jazz. Because I knew that's what I wanted to do once I heard that. Didn't know what it was, but I knew this was some scientific stuff. This wasn't the ABC addition and subtraction go-go. This was more like the calculus of music. I realized that. I said, I got to step my game up.
Yeah, that record.
So that record made me, and then I heard, remember they did Sister Cheryl,
and
they brought in Tony and Herbie
yeah.
and Ron Carter, and I was like, and then who is this guy on the big yellow drum set? Oh, this is Anthony Tillman Williams. They call him Tony, and he was a monster. I had never seen nobody play the drums like that.
Right.
And I knew I was sold from that point on.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. What about, I guess, that music, or say Tony Williams influenced you? What was it that drew you to?
Oh my God.
Specific.
Oh my God. Where do I start? I tell you, it's funny because when I met him, I was shaking in my boots, man. And I told him as well. Yeah, I met him years ago before he passed away. Me and Mark Prince together met him, and we were shaking. Mark Prince pushed me up to Tony because he was too nervous. He said, "You go first, Fish, because you one that ain't scared of nobody." So he pushed me up there to shake his hand. I shook his hand, but I told him the same thing, which was, I said, "Mr. Williams," I said, "your drumming was so musical." I said, the tone, the pitch of your toms, the music, the tonality. I mean, you were playing music. I didn't feel like you were just a drummer. And that's what made me change. But then I said, okay, when I started studying him, I said, well, where did he get it from? Where did he get it from? And it made me that thirst and that to go back and do the research, Sankofa as they call it, go back and fetch it. You know, when I would go back and I started going to fetch it, that's how I got the Cozy Cole and Zuddy Singleton and them cats. And Big Sid Catlett and all them cats, man. And matter of fact, I had to play Big Sid Catlett on a gig one time, which I was shaking because I was so nervous. I can't beat Sid Catlett, man. You know, y'all gotta understand how this is musical majesty up here. And that's how I found out about those cats, because I was listening first to Jeff Tane Watts, who is now I can comfortably call him one of my big brothers as well, which I also shared this story with him. He was the first jazz drummer I heard, him and Louis Nash from the Random and the Black Holes. And but told them that, so when I did that background research, I understood when Jeff started talking about Zuddy Singleton, Cozy Cole, Big Sid Catlett, and all them cats, I knew who they were.
Yeah, so for us music students, so what he's saying is the history of music, of whatever music you're studying, is very important to understand where you want to go. So, you know, Fish just said it. You know, he went back and studied these other drummers, the master drummers, before he could, you know, move on, you know, to find out where his, you know, the stuff came from. So he was, you know, studying, listening to Jeff Tane Watts, who's a, you know, very contemporary drummer, but he had to find out where Jeff Tane Watts got his stuff from. So he went back and studied the older drummers and the drummers that created a lot of the, you know, styles and things they're doing on the drums. So that's very important.
I mean, if you talk to Jeff or Kenny Washington or any of them other the contemporary drummers of his age, they will all tell you that same thing. And all right there, about 50-something years old now, between 50 and 55, that category, they will tell you, don't. It's nice to listen to me, but go check out blah blah blah.
Yeah, you can hear.
Because that's where the source is.
Yeah, if you listen to Jeff Tane Watts in particular, you can hear Elvin Jones. You can hear Roy Haynes.
Oh yeah.
You know,
oh yeah.
you hear all these drummers in his playing.
Yeah.
You know, especially Elvin. You know,
Oh yeah,
you hear Elvin.
Ralph Peterson too.
Oh man.
Art
You
Blakey.
hear Elvin, and I mean, you can't.
Art Blakey all up in there.
All that, you know. Kenny Washington, you can hear Philly Joe Jones.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah.
Let me tell you about, you know,
Yeah.
Kenny Washington. He has this, you know, drummers that studied him. I talk. He had this tape with all these Philly Joe solos on it, and
yeah.
he knew them all, you know.
Don't go over his house, because you're going to be over there 8 hours. Don't go over his house. Pack a lunch. If any of those kinds of cats, you go over their house, you better bring lunch. Barry Harris is still doing that right now, the great pianist Barry Harris. You go over his house, you get trapped over there. It's an all-day journey because he ain't going to let you out. You leave, you tired. Because they trap you. Even cats who, you can go over Kenny Garrett's house, you're going to get trapped over there. And he's 50-something. Anybody that's 50 and up, don't go over their house.
Yeah, he had me playing Jazz Studies.
You're not getting out of there in 30 minutes. No.
Yeah.
You're not even going to get out of my house in 30 minutes. So.
Oh, let me tell you, the first time when I first met, I know we jumping, but I met Fish when I came here. He was happy, man. Oh, another piano player. I mean, you need to come over my house, man. I'm like, okay, yeah. So we go over his house. I forget, it might have been that day. I probably hung out with Fish all day that day. Go over his house. Man, you heard this record? You heard this record? Man, he's just throwing stuff at me, man. He's like, you heard this record, man? Check this solo, man. Man, Fish, man, probably the first guy I met when I got here, man. He was, I think Dwayne Adele was living with you back then.
My roommate, yeah.
Yeah.
My old roommate, Dwayne Adele.
Yeah, and
can play anybody's solo.
Oh yeah, well. Yeah.
Bud Powell,
yeah.
Art Tatum,
yeah.
Oscar Peterson, you could verbatim.
Yeah.
He on a Casio.
He's on a Casio.
He don't care if your mama is watching. He don't care. He gonna play it all.
Yeah, but that's how I first met Fishman. He was throwing all these records at me, man. Him and Jamal. Yeah, you and Jamal.
But you forgot all about all that.
Oh no, man. I can't forget that. I won't forget that. So let's take a break.
Newport Georges did me the same way.
Oh yeah.
Newport Georges trapped me over there at least 10 hours one day at his old apartment on Pennsylvania Avenue. When I first came here and signed up, come on, go with me. Come on with me. And we went up to Pennsylvania Avenue, Southeast, and I swear I went in there when the sun was up. And when I came out, the sun was about to come back up again. And I must have heard every JJ record ever created.
Yeah. So let's take a break and let's play some music, man.
Okay.
Something with another type of feel so we can showcase your versatility.
Oh, wow. Uh-oh.
We're going to talk about Jones after this.
Uh-oh. We're going to need 3 hours, 4 hours.
That's one of the. You stepped out on the dream. Yeah.
That's right. You stepped out of the dream.
When he said, let's play something with a poinciana feel or groove. That particular song is played that way a lot, so that jumped in my mind. Let's give a drum lesson.
Okay.
Talk about where poinciana, that groove came from. Who? You know what I'm talking about. Since we were in a university.
Man, some bad light-skinned cat was playing in the Allyn trio, man. I forgot his name, man. He was killing.
Yeah.
He was killing, man.
Yeah.
He was killing. Yeah, he damn, I'm getting brain locked.
Bernal Fournier.
Bernal Fournier.
Yeah.
Bernal was I'm gonna tell you, Bernal looked like Adam Clayton Powell. Y'all remember Adam Clayton Powell? Y'all, yeah. Hold on.
History class.
Who don't remember Adam Clayton Powell? I better remember Adam Clayton Powell. That was my fraternity brother name. You should know him. But he was a bad man. But they if you knew what Adam Clayton Powell was like, he had kind of had that look almost like a Hispanic, one of them Hispanic looking black brothers. With the wavy hair, dark hair, slick, little slim mustache, a small guy. But he created that beat, that poinciana beat, when he was in the great Ahmad Jamal trio with Israel Cosby on bass, right? Oh my God, you listen to them, you just want to quit. But not for me. Any of them tunes that they play. I mean, I was listening to that CD. I got it in my phone. I was just on my way here. The trio dates, but Ahmad Jamal, who was Miles Davis's favorite pianist, by the way. You just listen to him. He'll signify everything you need to hear from a trio perspective. But he's the one that came up and popularized that poinciana beat. And that poinciana beat was the beat that I had just played, like this.
Play the one that's we used the cymbal.
Huh?
Play the one where you use the cymbal on one end.
Oh, you talking about? So the other one that I played. So that comes from that's Sister Cheryl. That beat Tony Williams came up with as a variation of his own spin-off of Poinciana. He came up with Sister Cheryl. And Sister Cheryl is kind of similar, but Tony incorporated the ride with it. And he kept the snares off the tom, of course, but when I heard that beat, I was like, what the hell? I mean, is he playing? It changed how jazz was supposed to be interpreted at that time. It was out of the ordinary. It wasn't regular. Excuse me. It wasn't regular. And he changed it, and he started playing that beat, and now you hear cats. They do the Poinciana beat, but they also do the Sister Cheryl beat, but everybody messes it up. We just do. It's like when it's like, you know how we talk about Allyn all the time. We talk about how cats learn the tune, but they learn the wrong changes. Like, he swear me down, that's the right change. No, dog, that's not the right changes. I promise you that. And then you sit down with the cat and talk, and he want to argue with you. No, man, this is the right change. But that's how the same thing is rhythmically with that beat. Cats will argue you. Me and Lenny Robinson had a big fallout about that. And I was like, Lenny, you may be older than me. I love you. You're my big brother. I respect you. I wish I could play as good as you do or have as much technique as you do, but you're wrong. I can play this beat better than you, and you cannot play it this good as I can, because I studied it hard.
Muhammad Ali James.
And literally, he had to laugh, and even he's like, all right, Fish, I'm done, man, you right.
So let's talk about you coming to UDC. How did you get here?
So me going to Bethesda Chevy Chase High School, the push was for me to go to a white college, PWI. Big school. I had some opportunities to do that. Fish. Well, I wasn't Fish then. I was just regular Howard because I hadn't met the great Calvin Jones yet, my musical father. And I had met my musical mother, Judith Corey, that's sitting over there right now. And so I was just regular Howard then. I was a nobody. They made me somebody. Like Jesse Jackson says, I am somebody. But, so I was like, okay, I'm going to go to University of Maryland. I went up to University of Hartford. The great Jackie McLean, who I would end up playing with as well. He was like, all right, son. All right, man, come on. But you got to get some money because I don't have that much. Well, neither do I, maestro. I love you. You're one of my heroes. Can't afford it. That's what it came down to. Me and my best friend, Bruce Williams, who was hit, also, we went up there together, matter of fact. Bruce was already going here, but something in him was like, I think I just want to meet Jackie McLean, but I don't want to leave Calvin Jones. Plain and simple. Jackie's one of my heroes. He is. I'm a saxophone player, but nah, I'm good. Plus, I'm studying with Leroy Barton. I'm going to stay where I'm at. I got my big brothers, Tracy Cutler, a whole bunch of cats, up there, Frankie Addison, and all these other great saxophone players, the White, and all these whole bunch of cats up here at that time. And he's just like, I'm in a good atmosphere. I'm in a good space. I'm learning. I'm growing. So I'm just going to stay there, but we still go see J-Mac. We want to spend that time with J-Mac because one of our homeboys that went to high school with us that was a year older, Allyn Palmer, was already going to the University of Hartford, and he begged us to come up there and stay with him. He wanted us to meet the great Jackie McLean. So we spent some time with Jackie McLean. Just like I said, we got trapped in Jackie McLean's house all day. And I tell you, it was not a dull moment in 8 hours. Not one single breath of fresh air. It was funny. It was hilarious. It was gut-wrenching. It was emotional. And most of all, you learned, oh my God, I learned so much history. So, but then we came back to the reality of coming here to the University of Columbia. So while all my friends at Bethesda Chevy Chase was going to these big PWIs, I realized that wasn't for me. That wasn't for me. And I realized it that very day when I came up here that August of 1988. I met Calvin Jones. And I don't take that lightly. I couldn't play Come to Jesus. I couldn't play nothing. I was horrible. I'm still horrible. I'm just horrible on a high level of horribility. But I was horrible. And Jones with his big, long frame. Oh, damn, man. Hey, Hey, Bruce, this your guy, man? You know this cat? You hang with this cat? Bruce said, yeah, man, it's my best friend. He really he gonna work hard. Hey, Pop, he gonna work hard. He called Jones Pop. Pop, he gonna work hard. He call him professor. Pop, he gonna work hard. I swear to God, he gonna put that work in. Oh yeah, he gonna have to. This sounds a mess right now. And I was standing right here, so it wasn't behind my back, it was right in my face. We were over in this building that's now defunct called a power plant. And it was freezing cold in there. And it was scary because I was around all these musicians. Oh, you can play real good. Who are you? You can play real good. Oh, Lord, I'm not supposed to be in this room. I have no business in this room. I have no business here. I'm way out of my league. So I thought I was bad because I was the guy in high school. I'm playing in the jazz band. Oh, yeah, we playing Spain, got Chick Corea and all this stuff. And yeah, I murdered that. Yeah. So I thought. Calvin Jones said, yeah, man, give me on 2 and 4 on the hi-hats. I said, what's that? He said, damn, man, you don't know 2 and 4? Where the hell you come from, man? I said, he said, goddamn, man, damn, man, shit, all them cats got money out there, man. They ain't teach you nothing. I said, well, I think they taught me something, but I don't know if I learned it. But he said, all right, damn it. So he took the stick and snatched it out of my hand. He goes, can you do that? Barely could I do that. I was coming with go-go, man. I couldn't do that. That's when I just started listening to jazz. I don't know. Okay, so I'll go ahead and try it. He said, yeah, man, oh, man, it's going to take a lot of work for you, man. So it was a guy named Tony Addison up here. Doc said, all right, man, stop. Just stop, man. Go on over there with him, man. Go on over there, man. Get on out of here, man. Go on over there, man. You all right, man. All right, man. I guess we're going to try to figure out a way we can get you up here. So I was just in shock that he would take the time. He saw something in me. I was telling Bruce, I said, Bruce, what the hell he see? Because I can't see nothing. What is he looking at? And he said, oh, we'll figure it out, man. Bruce said, man, is he all right? Pop, is he okay? He's horrible, man, but we'll figure it out, man. We'll turn this thing around, I hope. So when he sent me over there, and I went over there, and I started talking to Tony. I thought Kenny was over. I met Kenneth Dickinson, Dr. Dickinson now, Ronald Compton. I met Bruce Royal, and I was in drum heaven. And I was like, oh, my goodness. They said, all right, bro, come on. Let's get with it. Like, you sit over there. No, I thought I'm about to walk up to the drum. Oh, no, you're not going to play nothing. You're going to sit right there and watch all of us play. Sit down. Yes, sir. I sat down, and they all remind me of this story. They remind me right now, today. They all, my big brothers, who I love so much, all the names I named for you, they tell me that I'm the best now. I don't take that lightly. I said, no, I ain't the best. Nope, I'm not. That's still NASA. NASA started it for all of us. NASA Abiday was the one who was the first drummer up here to start this program. NASA was the one who set it off for us. And he's still phenomenal. I love him. He's awesome. He's an awesome human being and musician and drummer. He's the guy. So that's what I always tell them. But I sat there, I listened, I learned, so on and so on and so on and so on. Time went on. I finally got my opportunities to play. I got my butt kicked. Jones stopped me so many times, I can't even count. He told me I was unmusical. Go ahead, you can laugh. It's okay. He said, I hadn't earned the name Kingfish yet. I think I didn't earn that name until it was probably the mid-90s when I started turning the corner a little bit. Just a little. When turning it hard, just a little bit. Jones started telling me, yeah, you starting to get the point now, huh? Okay. So I said, what you mean, Doc? He said, no, you starting to understand the concepts now. So good, damn it. That was his favorite. He loved to say, damn it. Punctuation. Good, damn it. That's right. I'm going to kick your ass even worse now because you think you starting to get good or something. So, subsequently, he would. Every week, I'd come in. Jones has handwritten a chart just to kick my ass. He knew my weaknesses. He knew my shortcomings. And all of that would be composed within my drum chart.
What about the black book?
Ooh, not the black book. Wait a minute, don't say that. Don't say that. So, black book. So y'all know black is synonymous with death, right? Go ahead, laugh. Y'all know that's synonymous with death, right? So that's what the black book was. The black book was when you got to the black book, that was in the ensemble. That was the highest ensemble.
Yeah.
And that's ensemble, like, we had to work, because our book was read for a while.
That was for blood.
Or we had folders, blood. Right. You was like, yeah, you stay in that red till you work up to that black.
Yeah, the black book.
I would always stick around. You would too, Allyn. We would sit around and just listen to the black book group. Oh, he playing some hard shit there. Goodness. I mean, we would say, we would curse. I'm sorry. We would, oh, that's hard as hell. What the hell you doing? Woo. I can't do that. I know. That's why you're not in that group, Franklin. I know. Sit down. Watch again. Listen. Learn some more. And then probably about 95, 96, 97, around that time, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe as early as 94, that's when he named me Kingfish. Mm-hmm. Doc would name everybody. And he named me Kingfish, and he said, I said, Kingfish? So I'm like, he said, yeah, damn it, from now on, you Kingfish. I said, wow. I don't know what that is, but I'll take it and run. He said, yeah, man, go check out. He said, you hip to Amos and Andy? Had me in his office one day, spitting potato chips out of his mouth while he was eating that simultaneously with a bologna sandwich with mayonnaise. Because that was his thing. He'd eat the bologna on Wonder Bread with Miracle Whip, sandwich bread, or the ham, or the bacon, and the tomato BLT. Oh my God, he loved that BLT. But he would always have potato chips with it and some drinks in that refrigerator. We knew all of us came in there and ate out of that refrigerator. That little refrigerator fed a whole band. A big band. Okay, so I'm talking about 4 trumpets, 4 trombones, about 5 saxes, guitar player, 2 drummers, and 2 basses, and a pianist, or 2. That's a lot of people. So, Doc telling me, he said, yeah, go check out Kingfish, man. I said, what's up? Man, he was a slickster, man. He was a slickster. You know, Kingfish, man, used to get a lot of stuff happening his way. It would be ironic that he would name me that. Because in life, a lot of stuff did ended up going my way. And it wasn't supposed to. I bamboozled some things, perhaps, but nevertheless, I got it.
So, speaking of your education here under Cowboy Jones, what are some of the things that you take from what you've learned here and apply to real world situations?
Well, I'm going to tell y'all straight up. My dad was there my whole life. He's still there. I'm fortunate. My dad taught me how to be a man. The UDC Jazz program taught me how to be a man, too. So, everything that I learned, I take it and apply it in life. I learned so much here, just in this building. between the door that's down there at the entrance and right in this room, a lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened. With us, we grew as human beings, as men in here. So I take that everywhere. People say, and it's funny because when I run into some of the other big brothers on the street or on gigs or whatever, Greg Gillespie and all that, you said Chisholm and all that. We had these talks, Harold Little. We always go back to the good old days. The good old days at UDC Building 46, Melvin Prince, whoever, Keith Mathis, anybody, but we talk about how we did blah, blah, blah. We learned blah, blah, blah. All of us are now pretty much school teachers in the public school system. How we learn that? It's a rhetorical question. UDC. And I'm going to tell you, Calvin Jones, Judah Corey, our musical mother and father, they made sure we had all the tools. When we left out of here, and don't forget, you Professor Omar, we had Professor Roach, we had Professor Marvin Jones, we had, I'm Marvin Cooper, had Pearl Jones, Dr. William Moore. I mean, you had just badass professors, the whole building. You understand? I'm cocky about that because they gave us that pride. We had the best. We had my man, Dr. He passed away, Percy Gregory. Dr. Gregory, my man. So all of them, rest in peace. I love all y'all. I love all of them. And they're in heaven right now. I know they are. Can't forget my main man. I used to fight all the time, Harvey Bamboo. Me and him rumbled in the jungle. That's like it was Frazier and Allyn. I am going to pass theory forward, you like it or not. And you gonna let me out of these kids. You gonna let me out. Let me out of there. Let us free. We had the best professors money could buy. And money couldn't buy them. Because the little bit of $75 of credit that we paid, you better go, you should have been paying $10,000 of credit. That's what we should have been paying. Because that's the value of them. And you can't forget my main man right here, Dr. Leroy Barton. And then we had Bobby Felder. and had the big Q dog, my man George Ellis, Dr. Ellis. I mean, come on, we had the best. This guy, see this guy right here? Still here. Before him, we had what? Carl the Shield, Big Daddy? Called him Big Daddy. Big fella play the bass. But you know his kids, Christy and Carl, out here killing it. But that's the type of heat that we had up. We had some heat. And I know I forgot somebody. I swear I don't want to disrespect her. I'm sure I forgot a few, or I didn't announce a few. Please forgive me. But I'm going to tell you, we had the best of the best. And you go over there and you match up with any school. Matter of fact, we was better than most. And they gave us no respect. And we still get no respect to this day. University of District of Columbia. I burned 5 birds up in my heart. So that's why they called me the mayor. Because I wasn't just in this building. I got that name because I used to transcend the campus. I was in everybody's stuff.
The mayor. So this,
he named me the mayor. That kind of stuff too.
The mayor.
Just like Jones named me Kingfish. You know, there's people over in Asia that don't know my birth name. Wow. Kingfish! You're the Kingfish. The fish. Don't know your real name. Kingfish. They don't know my real name. I played on so many countries overseas, I can't name it. Because I learned at and I take UDC, Every country I played in, every festival I played in, I take UDC and wear it on my back with pride. And I'm telling you, all the masters that I played with, all the principles that I learned, I incorporated them on those gigs, trust me, that I learned from Calvin Jones. And when I played with the great Curtis Fuller, he asked me, he said, son, who you study with? I said, Calvin Jones at University of District of Columbia. He, God damn it, you study with Calvin? What?
This is not a children's show.
He said, you study with Calvin? No wonder you can play. No wonder you can play. Yeah, man, Calvin used to lay some heat on us, boy, back in the day, at the Howard Theater and all that stuff. He said, you come down here. He told me this. This is Curtis Fuller talking. Listen to Blue Train. If you don't know who he is, John Coltrane, Blue Train, and hear the trombone player there, that's Curtis Fuller. And many other tracks and records. But he said, when we would come to D.C., him and Buck Hill, who's passed on now, Buck Hill, who I had the pleasure of playing with a couple times as well, hey, he said, you had to watch them dudes. They was coming for blood. They would come to their gigs. Oh, yeah, you in town? What's up, man? Oh, you in my town. How you doing? Yeah. That's how competitive jazz is. Got that little edge. A lot of people don't know that. You play football, play basketball, boxing. You think that's just that. If you look and you do some history and research, you'll find a lot of jazz musicians were intertwined with boxing. Sugar Ray Robinson was best friends with Miles Davis. Wallace Roney, all of them used to box. I used to box. A whole bunch of us used to box because we loved that battle. And we get on the stage and it comes out playing well. Oh yeah, you gonna play some stuff. And we get into some battles, don't we, Allyn? And you gonna get or you gonna be got?
Be got.
Allyn be like, Allyn's a killer. Don't let him fool y'all. Allyn don't let nobody get him on the stage. You're not getting Allyn Johnson on the stage.
Stop it.
You're not getting him. I'm sorry. He's a lion.
Let's play a ballad.
Okay.
And then after that, we'll take some questions from the audience if they have some questions.
Okay.
All right?
All right, cool.
All right, let's play a ballad. We'll show you the tender side. The tender side of Howard Kingfish friend.
What's the tender side of Howard Kingfish? Now that would be, that's funny.
Oh, man.
The tender side, oh God. They will laugh at this. Ruby My Dead.
Oh, wow.
So we'll remember that. Oh, the round midnight. For love.
Okay. I don't. I mean, this is a tune called You Don't Know What Love Is. I really don't know what it is. I'm that make you fall in love?
I don't remember the composer actually, but for me, one of the most famous versions of that is John Coltrane.
Oh yeah.
John Coltrane's version for me is it. So we'll take some studio audience questions. Yes, sir. Mr. Andrew.
I have a question about the drums. Earlier on, you mentioned the talking about the go-go drums and everything, bass drum without the head, and you talked about the pickle cans. Did they come in different sizes? This is what I'm getting at. Are you aware of the acoustic tom-toms that they used to make back in the 70s?
Yeah, with the bottomless head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a series of them, like 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah.
Would you say that the pickle cans were a part of the evolution of that, or was it at the same time? Because I know in California, a lot of those street bands used to use lard cans and other different dimensions of cans like that. And I always equated that with the acoustic tom-toms. But I didn't know where the acoustic tom-toms came from, because I saw maybe 3 different sizes of cans in California. But what you're talking about was from Philadelphia or around here, right?
No, I'm talking about around here. Now, historically, the evolution of the single-headed tom drums came from a drummer named John Bonham, who was a rock drummer. At that time, he was back in the day playing drums with Led Zeppelin, and he was the guy playing rock at that time, and he came up with that. Oh yeah, I want this different sound thing. He made love with making some drums with no bottoms on them, bottomless toms, and that was in the 70s, the early 70s, and Ludwig did what he wanted them to do, and they encapped the shell with that metal brim to protect that wood bond at the bottom of the shells, so they would protect that edge. But they created that. Now you got me wondering, should I go do some research and some history on that, because the single-headed toms in relation to the pickle bucket concept, because that does make a lot of sense, because I remember when I had my pickle buckets and my tomato cans that were my high pitch up here, I actually sat there, I got about 20 buckets, but some of them I threw away because they weren't sonically correct, pitch-wise, in order from the toms. I knew that when I was young. Ding, doom, doom, boom, boom. I knew it had to get from high to low. I knew that. So at some point, I knew it's just like these drums, where I knew I had to go, okay, it's different pitches, but I knew systematically had to go down from high to low. So that's why I got my buckets lined up and my cans lined up. The highest pitch started at that, ended on the lowest pitch bucket.
How many buckets did you use?
I had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I had 7 buckets.
Okay.
I had 2 up here, 2 right here, and I had about 3 right here. I made 3 floor toms. Tell you how I made them. I stacked 4 buckets, and they got this high. They would sit right here, whoop, boom, go, and one of them I put a lot of tape on. One I put a little less tape, and the other one they had no tape at all. Gave you 3 different pitches. That other last one, honk, honk. That was my bottom end.
Okay, I was curious about that because I think it was Gretsch. They made a series
Gretsch made that for Phil Collins.
Well,
Phil Collins started playing them when
Okay.
one of his idols was John Bauer.
Before that was Harold Blaine, you know that?
Harold Blaine, the
He
drum
had 9.
clinician.
He had 9.
He had 9. I made a record
Yeah.
with him out there.
Yeah, Harold Blaine did that, when Harold Blaine did it, it was kind of looked at as it was kind of very interesting because Harold Blaine,
Yeah.
a technician, you really don't expect somebody like him to play a drum set like that. He's not disrespecting the rock drummers or anything, but if I'm not mistaken, Harold was more jazz,
No, pop music.
and stuff like that too. But I didn't really see him as the rock drummer.
Okay, well,
Play single.
I never thought about any of this in terms of rock and roll until you started talking about it. 'Cause
Right.
My only contact had been with Harold Blaine and a fellow in Las Vegas named Brian Kent. You know that name? He had 9 also.
I'm not familiar with him.
And they just have them streaming around the front of their drums.
Yeah, the Go-Go Cats did the same thing, and it's a hell of a sound in a go-go situation because it's a dead tom sound. Foots from Ray Essence, who was a good friend of mine, Quentin Davidson, he's passed on now. He was brutally murdered in 1994. Great guy. He used to play that back up against the wall and all those Ray Essence classics, one-on-one and all those things. He had a Ludwig drum set, the same one, similar vein of John Bonham's, but it was a Ludwig, that Ludwig with single-headed toms was made like that. He had that same one, a similar model of that.
Now, one other question. You mentioned the OJs.
OJ.
Did you ever know a drummer that played with them named Albino Jerry?
Yes.
Is he still alive?
I'm not familiar. I'm not sure if he's still alive, but I remember him. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Albino Jerry.
Albino Jerry. Yeah. Yeah. Can't forget that name.
Was he from where? Was he from?
I'm sure he was one of the regular Philly session cats because they had pretty much the whole band was Philly. If you was in the OJs, you was from Philly.
Oh, okay.
Only people was from somewhere else was the OJs. They're from Ohio.
Yeah, right.
They out of Cleveland.
Well, that's why I thought Albino Jerry was
Nah,
from Philly.
I'm not sure. I think Albino Jerry is from Philly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Have you met any new Kingfish? Any young Kingfish?
Nah, man. Nah, you don't want to be no Kingfish. No, I haven't. I'm gonna tell you, I don't. Like I said, I don't take that name lightly or whatever because my mentor gave it to me. My musical father gave me that name, and I wear it, and it's pretty much. I haven't legalized it, but it pretty much is legal because everywhere. I taught at public school for years.
It's legalized like marijuana.
Right. My fellow teachers, my principal, hey, Mr. Kingfish, they think it's so funny. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Kingfish. You know, it's like a big joke to them because they get such a laugh off of it. But knowing the seriousness of it, you know, the cats around town and the cats around the world that know me by that. But they'll probably never be anybody else named Kingfish though.
Any other questions?
I'm the last of those Deacons.
All right. Well,
See my big bro Charmin Holmes back there. What's up, bro? Happy belated birthday.
Thanks, bro.
My man.
God bless you.
Charmin was back there in the day when I was telling y'all about Charmin, bro. Yeah. Trumpet player, you know, man. It was a good time.
Yeah, great.
And we stayed up here all day, every day. Did we? I knew people had dorms. You'd have thought we had dorms up here because we never went home.
Well, if there's no more questions, can we give a hand for our wonderful guest, our D. Kingfish Franklin. the mayor of the UDC, and Mr. Stephen Novacell on the bass. We thank you, and we'll see you on the next installment of Meet
My
the
little
Artist.
frat brother, Tony.
Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you, Mr. White and Rusty, Hassan, and
Rusty,
all
my
the
man.
students here. Thank you so
We
much.
love you, Rusty.
The fog.
Rusty,
The
keep us
fog.
relevant out there.
See you next
All
time.
right, bro.